Hi you guys, it's Wendy coming to you with a project share. This particular project is from a swap that I'm participating on the Facebook group Trashy and Flowish Junk Journals on Facebook. And these flow journals are always of interest to me because I think it's a good way to go ahead and kind of get if you have a lot of one item in your stash, you can send those out to people. And so rather than having a whole bunch of things that you're probably only going to use one of, you simply pass it on to somebody that you think could use those particular items. And so for me, it's kind of a way to share the things that I collect when I thrift store shop. And of course, the intent of the flow journal is that it's meant to be deconstructed and used. It's not meant to stay bound. And really, the person who gets this should be able to use everything from the cover to the fabrics that you bound the book with. In fact, it's loosely bound, just tied with some of this Dollar Tree lace and some tulle. To the cover, anything in here is fair game. And this one was pretty interesting to me because it was themed. And so the theme of this particular one was kind of food, cooking, recipe related. And so the cover I chose, I had gotten in a thrift store a tiny little pocketbook for American Sign Language. And so I cut out all of the words that had to do with food and eating. And so just assembled those, and so I thought that would be kind of interesting to look at. And then I just had this that came to me in Happy Mail, and I stuck that in the middle. On the inside cover, I have fussy cut a bunch of large items from food magazines that my mother-in-law subscribes to Food Network magazine for me, and that's actually a really beautiful magazine. It's really well done. The photos are beautiful, and so I fussy cut things like pretzels and burgers on a grill, a hamburger, all kinds of things that I put in here. And so let's see if I can kind of angle this down a little. So essentially, I gathered everything I could from magazines, old books, all kinds of things of that sort. And I tried to make sure that on every page there was something that I thought, I always try to say, what would I use in my projects, whether it's art journaling or junk journals or whatever. And so I think these would be items that I would want. So I have a place setting. Here I've taken some old packaging and I went ahead and fussy cut a bunch of items, anything from a mix-aid to a lemon to a corn cob, and I've included those for whatever purpose. Here we have another place setting. We have a pie. In this little pocket, I have a bookmark I received from another swap, which is made out of Godiva chocolate packaging. And behind that, Food Network magazine has these really beautiful bookmarks that they publish, and they're 3 to a page, and they're perforated, and so you just basically fold and tear, and they're really beautiful photography. And I might just pop a couple of those out. Yeah, I mean, they're usually concentrated on a particular food that's being used and the recipe behind it. But I think as photography goes, really pretty. So, yeah. So I'm including those. And yeah, a lot of this is just, I cut out some words that were food related. In here, I have from some children's books some definitions that are food related. This from a vintage kids book with a mom in the kitchen. At a thrift store, I found someone who was practicing black and white photography, and a lot of their subject matter was food related. In this case, we have a pineapple. A little list pad that says, "Hey sweetie," and then down at the bottom we have pie. This is etiquette for eating correctly. And so yeah, basically on every page that didn't have something food related, I have taken washi tape and added something that is food related. So just lots of kids illustrations, some sexy bell pepper black and white photography. Just gonna do a real quick flip through. Some poems that are related to food, coloring pages. In the back of every Food Network magazine issue, there is a coloring page, and so I included several of those. Here we have music that is related to food. There's a pie coloring book. This is not strictly food related, but it is labels, and at the Dollar Tree they kind of advertise them as something to put on your jars, if you can, and so kind of related. We have some fruits. And here's just random color and black and white images from photography books that are food related. Same here. Here we have some square napkins. A few scrapbook pages I've received in swaps recently. Some rectangle shaped napkins. And these were, again, some things that I fussy cut, but then they are kind of a little bit on the larger side, so I just clipped them in. So yeah, I just put in things that I thought would be useful. I have also included, I made a few envelopes. This is, of course, pasta. I have a piece of vellum that has butterflies and fruits. Included a few painted paper towels that I thought were really pretty for my stash. A little collection of doilies. And then of course we have the opposite page on here. I'll just point out a few things of note. I did go ahead and include some cupcake liners because some people use those in their crafts and make little wands and things, so I included that. I included a few of the decorated paper clips that I've been making out of buttons. Nothing too noteworthy other than just the back page of things. Yeah, I mean, same thing here, just a lot more of it. We have a Jell-O mold that's meant to look like a galaxy, salt and pepper shakers, wine, another place setting. We have some calendar pages that are food related. More sexy peppers, place settings, and then on the back cover I went ahead and made a few tags out of usually magazine pages, and so those turned out kind of pretty. I'll show you those. I don't like this big one for whatever reason, but we have this one which came from a spice ad. This is also spices, apples. This is different types of stamps that are sundae and ice cream related. We have a lime. We have honey. This one's actually in a pocket holder, but it says "Be Amazing." And then we have this one, which is the different pastas, and I've added a few washi tapes to the top. But I thought those turned out pretty cute. So yeah, this is what I'm going to send to my partner for that food cooking related flow journal swap, and I can't wait to see what she sends to me. Anyway, thanks for letting me share, and I will be back with you in just a few minutes because I'm going to share some Happy Mail I've received. Thanks, you guys. All right, bye-bye.